Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, January 26th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving because that's the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla. Monster move today. Monster volume had earnings. And if you were bullish, not a good day at all. My pattern here that I had drawn before is no longer relevant, so just going to go ahead and get rid of that up there as we need to start anew, as there is the big, gap down to start things off, and then there is the bleed. Now, what makes this a little interesting is that maybe, just maybe, some sort of bottom is in, and I say that because the price has gone sideways. Now, don't get me wrong, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price has gone sideways does not mean for sure guaranteed this is the bottom, for sure guaranteed this thing is getting ready to, curl back upwards and create some sort of bounce. My point here is it at least plausible? Is it at least a valid scenario? And yeah, absolutely. Case point, let's just say the price was still dropping, and then I was sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be a bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally going down. But that's not the case here. It has at least started to go sideways. So again, does that mean it's for sure a bottom? No, but it certainly becomes more valid. And that is why this area here at the 180 mark has now become a very important level of support. You can see a couple of times the price was down there and it held strong both times. So keep an eye on that. If the price does roll back over, you're going to want to keep a close eye in regards to, whether or not the price can continue to maintain above there or not. In terms of areas of resistance, any sort of bounce back upwards, key level initially, in my opinion, at least going to be right up there around 186.50. But yeah, all in all, interesting scenario with the sideways movement. So we'll see if Tesla and if the Kool-Aid can get flowing and get this thing to bounce back up. Next one here, ticker symbol PHUN, and been tracking this one very recently to add a little bit more context. It did pull back some more today. So that's where I'm going to just adjust this area of support. Now, the key dynamic is, I'm going to adjust this area of support now down to right there at the 27-cent mark. And I did adjust it downwards. And assuming you're bullish, whenever levels of support need to be adjusted downwards, not always the greatest thing. Now, from the big picture point of view, it's not like the chart's destroyed or anything like that. You can still see very much so that the chart is up in this upper half, sideways channel part of everything. So it's not like today was a massive crash or anything like that. In fact, and I'm going to draw this very bootleg, you could, argue some form of a bull flag, bull pennant pattern has formed with a pullback. But the one downside is the price is now down below that purple line there. Again, doesn't destroy the chart, but something to note. So if there is any sort of bounce back upwards, first key area of resistance that'll need to be watched right there, that 50 parent moving average. And if the price does roll back over, then as I already talked about, right there at 27 cents. So really just a question of, what was your strategy going in? If you're some sort of day trader and you bought right there and wanted to buy and sell within 20 minutes, from that angle, the chart looks really bad. But assuming you care about the bigger picture of things, today was annoying, but overall, the chart is still an uptrend. Next one here, ticker symbol PCSA, and this is exactly why I like to do these when the market's still open. I mean, check out this late day movement as I speak. The price has broken up through that pink line there, which it struggled with over here. And, late day, very, very nice final 30 minutes of the day as this green candle forms. So that brings about the next key level of resistance to watch very closely headed into tomorrow, and that's right up there at $5.90. Nothing fancy in terms of the logic of why that level matters. That's just simply where the party stopped earlier today. Now, I shouldn't assume because the market closes in 15 minutes, so maybe the price doesn't even necessarily close above that pink line. If it doesn't, well, then that will be the first initial level of resistance. But assuming it does, then that'll be where the 590 comes into play in terms of that first key level of resistance. But anyway, look at it. It's either going to be the pink line, 200 period moving average, and 590 as areas of resistance, or it'll just be that 590 mark because the price is up above that pink line there. In terms of levels of support, nice little trend line here has started to form. So we'll change that to green to represent support. And then from a pattern standpoint, keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big move up. Put the golf hole down here to make it a little bit more visual. And this would be a bull pennant pattern. So if you like stocks down below $10, you like bull pennants, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, ticker symbol ONCO. And overall, big picture-wise, good movement today with a big gap up, and now has formed a pretty well-defined pattern that you got to think a lot of people will be watching moving forward. And I think that's the trend line or something very similar to that a lot of people have watched or drawn and will be watching. And I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So no guarantees, but if the price were to come up here and break up through there, could that break right there create additional upside buying pressure? I think that is a very plausible scenario. And then in terms of supports, you have that area right there. So change that to green. And then again, to make this all the same color to make the pattern a little bit easier. So we have resistance, we have support, we have the big upwards move there. I would call this more of a bull flag pattern. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull flags, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC, and this should be pretty straightforward because assuming you watched yesterday's video, then everything I still talked about holds, and even if you didn't, very straightforward. Sideways channel here has officially formed. Top of the channel up there, that resistance at 425. Bottom of the channel down here at the 404 mark. So moving forward into Friday is really just a question of, is there going to be some sort of break? Are the bulls going to win with a break to the upside? Or the bear is going to win with a break to the downside? All that remains to be seen. Or does it just continue to kind of chop back and forth? That's, of course, a very valid scenario too. But that's really the quickest way to summarize AMC right now is sideways channel pattern, top of the channel resistance 425, bottom of the channel support at 404. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event. So maybe you missed it because you have something on your schedule this evening, or maybe you're watching this Friday morning. But go ahead, drop me an email, clay@claytro.com, and I would be happy to send you a link to the replay. All I ask is, it is like I said, it's a genuine event, so it's first got to happen, then I got to get it uploaded, and then at that point I'll be able to email you the link to it. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up. Next one, ticker symbol AAL. Very nice movement today with earnings, and now a good, well, I take that. It's already been nice upwards trend after it got really beat down quite a bit, but now it's continued on with that trend and now formed a good solid pattern here. So let's get this pattern into play. And again, I'm not trying to impress you. Got to think a lot of people have drawn this pattern. And like I said previously, I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same general levels and wondering the same general thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So we have this nice little wedge here that has formed through the course of the day. So resistance, support, nice upwards move there. So we have ourselves another little bull pennant pattern. So pretty straightforward there. Bull pennant pattern on a very, very much so watched stock today. And you got to think that it'll be watched tomorrow with all the volume. So we'll see what happens with it. Next one here, ticker symbol AMD. And overall, the uptrend continues, higher highs today. So on that note, I'm just going to go ahead and adjust this level up as it's clear that the new key level right up there at 184.50. You can see several times price got up there and couldn't quite push through it. But like I said earlier, when levels of support are adjusted downwards, not a good thing, assuming you're bullish. Well, here's the opposite. When levels of resistance need to be adjusted in the upwards direction, assuming you're bullish, that is a good thing. And we still have this level. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and look at this in a couple different ways from our support standpoint. First would just be this trend line here in the very near term. That would be the ideal level. I mean, if won't make this chart look the healthiest and strongest going forward. Definitely if the price can stay above that line right there. But even if that level doesn't hold, keep an eye from the overarching standpoint on that purple line right there, the 50-period moving average. And as the name implies, moving, that line is going to continue to move itself higher and higher. So as long as the price stays above there, then the overall trend is still plenty in the bull's favor. But all in all, yeah, it had a pullback today, but big picture, as you see right there, the overall trend still very much so in the bullish direction. Next one here, ticker symbol MARA. And I was tracking this one quite a bit, but I haven't because it's been pretty quiet. But in the quietness over the past couple of days, good technical pattern has formed. So let's just get this drawn up. There's the top part of the pattern, the area of resistance. And then in terms of the area of support right there. So do have this wedge here pattern forming. And what's interesting now about this is it's running out of room. Eventually, somebody's got to win out. And that's where the big question, kind of the interesting question moving forward comes into play is who is going to win out? Are the bulls going to win with a break to the upside, or the bear is going to win with a break to the downside? That remains to be seen, but that's why risk management matters, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. But the key dynamic here is that you have a well-defined wedge. The wedge is running out of room, so who's going to win the battle? We'll see what happens over the next few days. Next one here, ticker symbol CYN, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because you've already heard me talk about this pattern several times, but we have a nice uptrend, and we have a nice pattern like so. And then just because I can't help myself, I got to do it to one color just so you can make sure you see it. Resistance, support, nice upwards move there. So a nice bull pennant pattern. I would say the biggest difference here in this situation is that it's a penny stock. I can't remember. Did we have another penny stock in a bull pennant or bull flag? I've actually forgotten that. But here we do have a nice little pattern here. So, and like the other one we just watched, MARA, excuse me, it's running out of room. Who's going to win out? Grab your popcorn. We'll see how it goes on Friday. Next one, ticker symbol TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to rise, this one will also rise. Biggest difference here is it just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. And pullback today. So overall, chart is still completely fine. No doubt about that. It just goes back to those kind of personal preference things. If you're a day trader that bought right there, or you're a day trader that bought right there, in either of those situations, you're hoping to buy and sell within, 20 minutes. Well, then yeah, chart's looking bad for you. But assuming you care about the big picture of things, everything is still perfectly fine. And we do have, yeah, you guessed, another bull pennant angle to things. So there's our resistance. Let me change that to make it stand out a little bit more. So there's that part of the pattern. Well, I guess to be fair, this is more of a bull flag. And that's going to be the main dynamic here moving forward. So there it is, bull flag. But the point here being is big move up. Now it's consolidating. So the question becomes, is consolidation healthy where it's going to continue to get upside momentum? That remains to be seen, but that is certainly a valid thought to have. But anyway, look at it. Pullback today, big picture, completely fine. Nice to see it hold above not only this 55.60 mark that I mentioned previously, but also holding above that purple line right there. So it'll be interesting to see if this thing can curl back upwards and give the top part of that trend line a test on Friday. So that wraps up the top 10 lists. Again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely get signed up for that free live webinar. It'll be this evening, Thursday, January 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. If you can't make it for whatever reason, go ahead and send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and then I'll send you a replay link when it is available. So thanks for watching. If you appreciate these top 10 videos, hit that like button, leave a comment below, give me your watch list for tomorrow. And like I said, get signed up for that class, or if not, drop me an email. But take care. Have a good one.